New Sentry 17 merchandise is out now. Click the link in the description to get yours today. Welcome on in. We are into September. It is Labor Day, and so today I'm going to be giving you my MLB World Series predictions in September. Now, real quick before we get into this, I know you guys came for baseball content. I do have to kind of address an elephant in the room about myself. I was hit by a car the other day. I was biking down the road, and I got hit on a pretty busy street. I tore a ligament in my shoulder, the AC ligament. I'll show a diagram on the screen right now, but not able to do as much as I used to, so kind of down for a little bit. So keep me in your thoughts if you would. You guys didn't come here for that. You guys came for baseball, so like and subscribe if you haven't already. Follow me on all my socials as well if you have not already, and if you're interested in supporting me in any way, there's tons of ways in the description, Patreon, etc. Listen to all my podcasts. Let's get into the video. All right, so before we start with my predictions, we're going to give you a look at how things are looking right now. So here are the MLB standings to start in the American League East. The Orioles are on top of the Rays by 2.5, 10.5 over the Jays, Red Sox, and then the Yankees. Yankees just swept the Astros. That was pretty big. In the Central, the Twins, they are controlling the mid over the Guardians and the Tigers, the White Sox, and the Royals. The Royals are the worst team in baseball now. Then in the West, the Mariners still holding a one-game lead over the Rangers and the Astros. Angels and Athletics kind of picking up that rear. That's not looking too hot for them. To the National League, the best team in baseball, the Atlanta Braves. They're explosive. They're the first team to 90 wins now. The Phillies are at 75 and 61. You have the Marlins, who have gotten themselves back over 500 after going on a little bit of a skid. They're 70 and 67. Mets and Nats taking up the rear. You have the Brewers in first place by 3.5 over the Cubs. Reds are also still in the mix there. Pirates and Cardinals, whatever. In the West, the Doyers, they're second best team in baseball, maybe something like that. D-backs and Giants tied up there in the second place, and Padres and Rockies kind of irrelevant this year. So if you want to know the standings right now, we'll stick in the the National League, The Braves are the 1 seed, and then it's the Dodgers, then it's the Brewers, and it's the Phillies, and there's many teams that are tied. The Cubs have the 5 seed, but you have the Giants, you have the Diamondbacks, and then you have the Marlins, who are all tied for that last wild card spot. In the AL, the Orioles are your 1 seed, and then it's the Mariners, and then it's the Twins, and then the Rays have the 5, and then you have the Rangers and Astros, and that's 6 and 7. The Blue Jays are closer than I thought they were. They're only a couple games out now. So now that we have gone over what the standings are looking like right now, it's time for me to give my seeding predictions. So I have it here on a tier list, as you can see, but the left side is the American League, obviously the right side is the National League. So we'll start at the top with it's really similar to how it is now, if I'm being honest. The Orioles I have in the 1. It's where they are now, and I don't see this team slowing down really anytime soon. I know the Rays are really hot in their tail, but I see this Orioles team being able to maintain it through into the postseason with the 1 seed. The Rangers I have taken back this division. Now, I know they have been very, very cold as of late, but they've kind of been going through the dog days of August, if you know what I mean. So I think they're very poised to break out of this slump. They've been one of the best teams in baseball all year. In a slump right now. They had a pretty big moment yesterday. Adolis, who walked it off, but I think this team is going to make a pretty nice comeback and get that 2 seed. The Twins is unfortunate. They're getting gifted the 3 seed. However, the Guardians are kind of going for it. I don't really know. It's really confusing. They claimed all those guys off waivers, so we'll see what their direction is, but I have the Twins taking the 3. It's pretty obvious. Rays in the 4, they'll maintain one of the best records in baseball. They just have the Orioles in their way. In the 5, the Astros, I have them finishing above the Mariners. Mariners in first place right now, which I know that's a tough one to swallow. You're going from 2nd seed to 6th seed. I think the Mariners got hot, and I think that they show what they can do in the playoffs and like that kind of thing, but I think for right now, I do think the Astros are going to jump them. More confident in the Astros than I am in the Mariners. They've been there, done that. And the Rangers, I don't know. I just have a gut feeling about it. Let's go over to the National League. The Braves and Dodgers will start. Let's start with the top 3. Braves, Dodgers, Brewers. It's pretty obvious about that. Thought the Dodgers might be able to sneak up into the 1, but after this weekend, I think the Braves are taking the first 3. They play a 4th today, possibly. Yeah, it's pretty bad for the Dodgers. The Braves are going to take the 1. Dodgers will be snug in the 2, but the Brewers in the 3 makes the most sense. I don't see the Cubs catching them this year. Now, it's very possible. They play a 3-game set at the very end of the year, and it's very possible. I'd love for it to come down to that. think Craig Counsell and the crew, I think that they've got what it takes to take home their 3 seed. And then ironically enough, I really don't have the seeding changing in the National League, it looks like. I have the Phillies in the 4. They've been playing pretty good baseball the last month and a half. They've been one of the best teams in baseball, second to the Braves, I think, since June. So their offense, we saw what it can do. Trey Turner is on another planet right now. That guy is going. Bryce Harper has been very good. This offense is finally starting to click. And while the pitching is starting to stumble a little bit, especially that bullpen that was so good for so long, starting to stumble, think this team can round into form at the right time. So we'll see how they can do the rest of September. The Cubs in the 5. I like this Cubs team. I will not lie. I do like this Cubs team. I think that they have the starting pitching to get it done in the playoffs, and I think that because they're not going to be able to chase down the Brewers, they'll be snug into this 5 spot. So I don't see any other teams catching them. They have a decent lead on them right now, relatively speaking, for how many games we have left. So I don't see them losing that lead. Then I have the Snakes taking the 6. Now, you could choose any of the Snakes, the Giants, the Marlins. I don't see the Marlins having the offense to get it done. I don't see the Giants having the consistency to get it done. I see the speed. I see the young talent. I see this team has been very good for most of the year, except for really August, end of July. I see them being able to rebound, bounce back, and get themselves into a spot. Okay, so now that we've gotten the seeding out of the way and done with, here's how the bracket is going to look. Obviously, you have the 4-5 matchup up here in the NL. Phillies, Cubs. You have the 3-6 and the Diamondbacks and the Brewers. 3-6 plays the 2, the 4-5 plays the 1. Same thing over here in the American League. 4-5 is the Astros and Rays. Winner will play the Orioles, and you have the Mariners, Twins. Winner will play the Rangers. I'm actually going to start in the American League here on the right. I know it's weird, but I am going to start in the American League. Start here in the top right. We'll go to the Rays, and we'll go to the Astros. And for this one, I have the Astros taking it. I think that experience matters, and I know the Rays also have playoff experience, but I think the Astros, it's like their season kind of starts in the playoffs. You know what I mean? They're bound to be close to, if not get to, the ALCS. So I think this team definitely has what it takes to get it done over the Rays. I know it's kind of a sore taste in our mouth. They just got swept by the young Yanks, but I do think this team has what it takes to get. Down here to the 3-6, I don't think this one needs a lot of explanation. The Mariners are simply a far better team to me than the Twins. I know the Twins, they're winning their division. They're going to get to the playoffs, but it's being gifted to them. Their offense is not consistent. A lot of strikeouts, a lot of swing and miss. You have a very good strikeout team in the Mariners. The Mariners are a bad matchup for the Twins, in my opinion. I think the Mariners will take that one. We'll continue on in the American League. We have Astros. We have Orioles. I love the Orioles. They're like my second favorite team now. However, I think that experience in the playoffs is definitely a thing. I think this team is going to be nervous. Of course, they're a young team. They've never really been in the playoffs at all. Like, none of them have been. They're the 1 seed. They got a lot of pressure. I don't see them coming away with a series victory. I know it stinks, and it's simply just because of playoff experience. It's not even just because, the Astros are going to make it to the ALCS. Like, not that bit. No, it's really just because of playoff experience. The Orioles don't have a lot. It's been a great season, and they could win the series. It depends on how hot their offense gets. You know what I mean? But little postseason experience for me is really what's getting it done. So I think the Astros can take that one. You could say a similar thing about the Texas Rangers, except for that they have some guys who have been to the playoffs before. I don't know what the season series has been like, if I'm being completely honest, but something in me is telling me I do think the Rangers are going to take this series. They would be the home team, of course. I should say majority of the home games. You know what I mean? They'd be majority. I can see them winning it. I think it'd be a 5-game set, though, however. I think that the Mariners pitching is a good matchup for the Rangers. I think that they are a good pitching staff to combat the Rangers. A lot of swing and miss, a lot of strikeouts. And Rangers are simply mashed. They have a good pitching rotation. They've got one of the better ones for a playoff run, so I do think the Rangers will take that one. Now, weird as it is to say, I'm kind of doing this on the fly a little bit, my predictions, however. It's weird for me to think that one of these two teams is going to be in the World Series. I guess before the year we would have said Astros, but they just got swept yesterday. I haven't had a great year. Rangers have been cold, but I can see them getting hot at the right time. You know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going with my gut. Rangers to the World Series. I know I'm going to get a lot of heat for it. I truly think this team definitely has what it takes. I know they've not been playing super well as of late. I think this team definitely has what it takes to make it to the World Series. So there's your AL, your 2 seed making it to the World Series, the Texas Rangers. But let's go to the NL. Let's start in the top left. We're going to Citizens Bank Park, which is where the series will be played. I am saying that. I think the Phillies will take this one. I like this Cubs team. The Phillies have played well against them. I think that they took 2 out of 3 the first time, and they swept them the second time. So the Phillies have played well against the Cubs this year. I think that no matter where this is played, the atmosphere in Philly, obviously, it's all going to be very difficult, and it's going to make up for a rematch between the Braves and the Phillies in the NLDS. Let's go to the 3-6. It's the Diamondbacks, and it is the Brewers. I think the Brewers take this one in a 3-game set. I think this one goes down to the wire. I think it's simply because of the pitching. I think Burns will get the win in Game 1. I think they'll go Peralta Game 2. I think the Snakes will probably win it, but you go like a Woodruff in the game 3, a lockdown guy. I think he's a guy who has what it takes to play against these Diamondbacks. These young Diamondbacks, not a lot of experience as well. So I love for the Diamondbacks to get in. They're another team I really like, but I do think that this Brewers team has what it takes. Feels like two teams are on a collision course, right? We have a rematch of last year, Phillies-Braves, and these teams always do play close. As much as the Braves are like, oh, we own the Phillies. If you look back, like for the last years, it's always been tight. It's always been like 10-9, around in that range. This year, the Braves are only winning the season series by a game. Last year, we know what happened. The Braves went to the jungle and they got smoked. I don't know if that's the case this year. I love this Phillies team. I think they definitely have what it takes. Not just because I'd get roasted in the comments for it, but I think the Braves will take the series, as much as it hurts me to say. I think, being a smart betting man as I am, I think the Braves definitely are the chalk pick. And I don't think I really need to waste much time. I think the Doyers are going to also, I'm sorry, I keep saying Doyers, but I think the Dodgers are going to take their series pretty easily, if you ask me. There's just not a lot of offense in the Brewers. I think they have enough to get over the Diamondbacks with their pitching. I don't think they have what it takes to get over the Dodgers, if you ask me. So I think the Dodgers take that easily. And as I said, two teams were on a collision course kind of a little bit. But if I'm being honest, I think the Dodgers have it. It's weird for me to say because the Braves pitching staff is not fully healthy, and their starting pitching has not been as good this year. It's just a fact. Starting pitching has not been as good as it normally is this year. Statistically, that is. So their pitching is a thing that's kind of missing. Now, recently the bullpen has been hot, but it's also another thing that hasn't been the greatest all year. If they can get hot in the postseason, obviously they're going to make a nice run. As you can see, they get to the NLCS, but I think this Dodgers team really has what it takes. I think the moves they made at the deadline and everything that they had to reinforce their team is really paying off really nicely. They have the rotation. We know that. They have the pitching. Now they've got MVP players on their team. So do the Braves, obviously. But I think the Dodgers, it's really, you just have to choose one. And I'm going with my gut. It's not just because I don't like the Braves. I respect the heck out of them, but I think the Dodgers have that one. The Dodgers get a little bit of revenge from a couple years ago. We're here in the World Series. How about this World Series, right? Everyone was like, oh, it's not the Dodgers year. They're not going to do anything, blah, blah, blah. People were like, yeah, Rangers, maybe they make the playoffs. Well, I think the Dodgers have this one. A little similar to like the NLCS. I think that the Dodgers just have what it takes to go over the Rangers. Rangers, I don't know. Outside of like Corey Seager, they don't really have World Series experience. I guess maybe Jacob deGrom in one of his first years, he was in the World Series. But I think that the Dodgers' experience in making championship type runs and being in the playoffs definitely is going to pay off for them here. I see the Dodgers winning the World Series. I didn't really have like a team in mind before I started. This just kind of went by ear, and I guess I've got the Dodgers winning the World Series. So how about that? Those are your MLB World Series predictions in September. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, remember to leave a like as well as subscribe. Next week's video is doing another MLB teams tier list, ranking every MLB team in late 2023, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on that. You know what? I'm doing this for the first time ever, telling you what the next video is. The week after that is ranking every MLB fan base, so that's going to be something. If you enjoyed, leave a like and subscribe. I'll see you guys on the next one. I love you. Peace out.